what's a problem?
She's failing.
Raise your hand if you have something to say. Eva, what's the problem?
Because she ain't sipping it, and she can't get any of the juice, so she's standing a straw.
So that's her problem, isn't it? That she's not drinking out of it
But
correctly?
we don't have a problem yet.
Okay. Kenneth, what is a problem?
What's not drinking without straws?
Not drinking without straws. Christian, what's a problem?
She needs a straw.
Okay. So, kindergarten, how many of you have ever had a problem? Raise your hand if you think you've ever had a problem.
When I was a baby.
Just raise your hand. Colton, what was your problem that you remember?
I was sick, and I couldn't drink out of a cup with no straw.
You couldn't drink out of a cup without a straw. And what did you do to solve your problem?
Drink out of a sipping cup.
I'm asking Colton.
Jayla.
I get it out of straw and make my own stew. I can do that now.
He's doing his
So you
work.
got a straw and that helped you
He's doing
solve
his
your problem?
work.
Okay.
So now I got it drinking milk.
Cody, what problem do you remember having?
Well, it was the same as his, and I have a question.
What's your question? Does it have to do with science?
Are you ready to go back?
It has to do with having a problem?
No.
No?
When are we going to do it now?
We're doing science right now.
I'll make it.
Grayson, what was your problem that you remember having? Michael, I need you to sit up.
When I was a baby, I couldn't drink out of a straw.
You,
Couldn't drink out.
oh, you couldn't drink out of a straw. So how did you solve your problem?
My mom
Your mom did what?
helped me take drinking on.
She helped teach you how to drink? Okay. Melody, what's a problem you've had?
I was gonna.
Not gonna pull.
Is it about science? No? Then we'll wait until later to answer your question.
Jayla. You
Evan,
need
what's
to
a
have a
problem
seat.
you remember having?
I couldn't drink out of a cup when I was a baby.
You couldn't drink out of a cup when you were a baby. Lots of us couldn't drink out of a cup when we were babies. Do we have other problems than drinking out of cup stuff?
No. Yeah.
You never had. So I had a problem the other day. So, do you know what a pogo stick is?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so my daughter likes to jump on her pogo stick.
Yes.
And she asked me if I could jump on the pogo stick. And when I was a kid, I could jump on a pogo stick. I could do it really well. So I said, sure, I'll jump on the pogo stick. So I went up, and I couldn't remember how to get on the pogo stick. Every time I tried to get on, it just wanted to fall right over, and I couldn't get it to jump. So that was my problem.
Your daughter Paige.
My daughter Paige, yes, some of you know her. She's in 3rd grade.
Yep.
And so in order to solve my problem, I had to think about how I could get on the pogo stick so I could start jumping. Have any of you ever had a problem like that where you couldn't do something that you thought maybe you could do?
I know sometimes.
Jax.
Jump on the pogo stick when I was a baby.
Yeah, you had problems jumping on a pogo stick when you were a baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we're babies we can't walk, so it would be really hard to jump.
Only when you were 2.
Yeah. Christian,
Well, I couldn't ride a bicycle.
you couldn't ride a bicycle. And what did you do to solve your problem?
Play with toys instead.
You played with toys instead?
And did you ask your mom to help?
Yeah.
Jayla, good choices.
River.
This is a problem school. We go to our classified to
I'm sorry, River, what did you say?
We go to our classified to go on.
We go to what?
When we go to our classified to go on.
Our class of...
And the fire drill.
Oh, our fire drill. That's a problem that we have?
Yep.
Yeah, and how do we solve our problem?
We get out.
Yeah, we learned what to do during a fire drill. So
What's a
that
fire
we
drill?
know where to go.
Something came up.
Yeah. So,
I got it.
so in this picture, she's having a problem where she thinks that she might spill out of this cup if she drinks like that. And what is she going to do to solve her problem?
Straw.
Got her straw. So whenever we have a problem,
We get a straw.
so if I don't know how to ride a bike, should I get a straw in order to solve my problem? Probably won't work, huh? So what if I have a problem like, what if my water bottle is too big to fit in my cubby? What should I do? Raise your hand and tell me what you think I should do. If now is not a good time to get a drink. At Free Choice or at Centers is a good time. What should I do if my water bottle is too big to fit in my
Put in
cubby?
your cubby.
If it's too big to fit in your cubby.
Oh, in your.
Christian,
Then buy a new water bottle.
that is one solution to the problem. We could go to the store and buy a new water bottle.
And put it in the trash.
And do what?
And put it in the.
And pour all the water in the trash?
No.
Jimmy, what do you think we could do to solve that problem? Our water bottle is too big for our cubby.
I think I'm putting your backpack.
You could put it in your backpack. Okay. So I know that some of us had this problem. And we tried to put our water bottle in our cubbies in the beginning of school when we first started. And then it wouldn't fit. So some of you turned it sideways and laid it down.
I was going to say you can lay it down.
But what happened when we laid it down? Some of them
It spilled.
Some of them
It spilled.
So was that a good solution to our problem?
No.
No. So we had to think some more, didn't we? So
My hand.
raise your hand and tell me if you remember what we did to solve that problem if you had a water bottle that was too big for your cubby. Jax,
Put it in your bag.
you put it, is that something that you did to solve your problem?
It can
Michael,
spill.
if you hold on to me, I might try.
Yes.
Is that something that you did to solve the problem? Yeah. And it didn't spill? Evan,
So right now your choice is to sit at crisscross applesauce. Go have a seat at your table spot. Which one do you want?
oh, so Evan went over to the cubbies and he pointed to underneath where our backpacks go. Because that part is
You have to
really
walk.
tall.
You remember?
So he said we could put it all the way down on the
Jayla.
ground, standing up.
Jayla.
Would it fit there?
Yes.
And would it be on its side so it spills?
No.
No. So is
Because it can't fit like
so is that a good solution to our problem?
Yes.
All right, kindergarten. I
So
think
what
that
choice
you're
are you
all
picking?
ready to solve problems. What do you think?
Can we get a whole for a drink?
So I have a problem, and I need your help. Because in science, we solve problems. Did you know that? Last week we talked about answering questions in science, but we also solve problems. So today you're all going to be scientists and you're going to help me solve a problem that I'm having. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah, what's your problem?
I'll tell you in just a minute, but we have to remember to sit crisscross applesauce.
I can't because
Hands in our laps.
I can't even jump on the pole. It's getting stuck.
I know it's hard, isn't it?
I need to do this.
Kindergarten, are you ready to hear about our problem?
Yes.
Do you think you could help me solve it?
Yes.
So remember, we don't need to yell out at Mrs. Davis when you think you have an idea. What do we do?
Raise your hand.
Raise our hands when we think we have an idea. All right, so put your hands down. You haven't heard my problem yet. So somebody gave this to me.
Hmm.
Let's go. So, have a seat. Sit down. Crisscross applesauce, remember? We're going to talk about it. Raise your hand and tell me what that is.
A plant.
Raise your hand, not just yell at it. Riley, what is that?
A plant.
A plant. So somebody gave that to me as a present, and I don't think my plant is doing very well. Do you think my plant is doing good?
No.
Have a seat, Mike.
I know, but it was squashing me. I can't sit class.
I'm sorry. Am I crowding you a little bit?
Look.
Grayson,
Bear took it all of a drown.
it's because it's out of the ground. Kindergarten, is my plant having a problem?
Yes.
Raise your hand and tell me what that problem is. Caleb, what's my plant's problem?
It needs water.
It needs water. Ooh, it is very dry. You're right. That could be a problem that it's having. What else? What other problem is my plant having? Gabriel.
It's wet, not wet. I have a little red on here.
It has a little red. So that used to be a flower. But because it's not doing very well, all of its flowers fell off. What other problem is my plant having? Michael.
There's some weeds.
Some weeds? So
these are roots.
These are, thank you, Eva. These are roots. Should the roots be showing?
My leg is hurting. I can't do crisscross.
Michael, have a seat back on your spot.
Try to rub where it's hurting, okay?
So,
Try to rub it where it's hurting.
Cold.
See if that's
so it just grew?
Yeah.
I think I just stood it up. It was on its side, and then when I stand it up, it looks taller.
hand?
Jayla. Michael, have a seat. Crisscross applesauce.
Just let it
Michael,
go.
have a seat.
It looks like a little island.
Kindergarten, I need you to sit crisscross applesauce.
I can't.
Grayson, are you sitting the way you should be?
Eva, you need to go ahead and sit crisscross up.
There are weird
You
little
can.
branches on it.
You can.
Yeah.
So, we're all going to have a turn to look at it. Hold on, Michael. Have a
I
seat.
can't even see.
So what do you think its problem is, Jayla?
It's falling down as we.
It's falling down. What do plants need to live?
Water.
Water is one. Great job.
And sun.
And sun? There's sunlight outside. What else do plants need to live?
Dirt.
Dirt. Plants need dirt. Does my plant have any dirt?
Yeah.
It has a little bit. Does it have enough dirt? So my plant's problem is that it doesn't have any dirt to live in. Kindergarten, what can you go have a seat? I know. I know, I'm going to put it right here in kindergarten. I want you to say crisscross applesauce. You can just look at it. Christian, have a seat. Jax, what can I help you with? What did you want to
The
add?
roots are the mouth.
The roots are the mouth of the plant. Yeah, you're right. Kindergarten, what can we do to solve my plant's problem? What are some ideas that you have? Oh, raise your hand if you have an idea. Raise your hand. Evan, do you have an idea what we can do?
I tried to rub it,
Okay,
and
so I'm going to write your ideas on the
and
board.
it keeps hurting.
I can find the
Sweetie,
board.
I'm sorry that it's hurting you.
Oh, there was one right there.
Oh, thank you. So Evan said that one way that we can help our plant is to put it outside.
It starts at the P.
Good eye. What letter is that, kindergarten?
P.
What does P say? Shut. All right, so that's one idea. Does anybody else have a different idea? Evan. Or Eva, sorry.
That the plant needs some water.
Jax.
I want to look at it.
You're going to sit crisscross applesauce on your spot. Michael. Eva's looking at it because she raised her hand. Back up onto your spot. What was your idea, Eva?
It's wet, but it means to be more wet, and it means dirt.
Okay, so it needs water.
Yeah.
So we should water it.
Yeah, and put dirt for it.
So, Eva, if I just take a bunch of dirt and throw it on top of it, will that help my plant?
No, you'll have to let one of us hold it up and fill this tray with dirt and make a pile, and then stick it in it, and then put some water.
Do you know what that's called when we do that? When we make a pile of dirt?
We plant it.
We plant it.
It's soil.
So Eva says that we should plant it. Where should we plant it?
It starts at the P.
Eva, will you have a seat back at your spot?
We
Eva, will you
should.
have a spot back? A seat back at your spot.
We should.
Raise your hand and tell me where we should plant it.
Outside.
Oh, so that's something that Evan said, outside. So the video that you just watched was actually a 15-minute part of a longer video. The lesson itself was actually 50 minutes long, so you don't get to see the whole thing. However, as far as classroom management goes, I did anticipate and plan for some behavior issues, one of which was the camera itself. I knew that the students have never been videotaped before or had a camera in the classroom, so I knew that would cause an issue. So we spent some time talking about it beforehand and why it was there, and that I was the only one that needed to be on video. And I think that did a lot to make sure that students weren't jumping up and saying hi. And so that was one thing. Another thing was that I assigned seats on the circle spot, and the circle. And the reason why I did that was because not only to cut down on chatter, so I was able to separate students who are up to talk to one another, but also to ensure that the students that I felt would probably have the most difficulty sitting where they needed to sit and staying focused, that I would have proximity to them. So in the video, you might see me lean down and just touch a student, and by assigning them circle spots, it made it a lot easier to do that. Also, another thing that I knew could potentially cause an issue was the fact that there is only going to be one manipulative. So there is only one plant, and the students have never been in that situation where one thing is put in front of them. And so we spent some time talking prior to the lesson about the fact that we can't all get up and touch it. But in the future, I think I would spend some more time talking about that, because as you can see in the video, I had to constantly redirect some students that they can't just get off of their spot and touch the plant. And so that is something that I think that if I would have pushed that a little bit more and maybe let them come to the conclusion that it wasn't fair for everyone to get up at the same time and try to touch the manipulative, and explain that they would all have a chance to touch it and see it and experience it, that maybe that would have cut down on it. But all in all, I feel that the lesson went really well through simple cues such as raising my hand and touching students to redirect them. I feel like they stayed engaged, and we were able to have a great lesson, and they learned a lot. As far as major behavior issues, classroom management issues that came up, there was, you might hear my mentor teacher talking in the background to a single student. This student is a student that we just completed an FBA on, and we are implementing individual behavior modification plan for. So she is redirecting her. However, I was really surprised that we've only been implementing this plan for a couple days, and she is doing so well. So there was no major classroom management problems that arose. However, at one point in the video, you can't see her, but she actually gets up and goes to her table spot, which caused other students to want to go to their table spots as well. However, this is part of our plan. This student can become overstimulated when she is in the circle area and she's so close to her peers. So we have offered her the opportunity that whenever she feels that she can't sit still and she wants to touch other people, or she wants to just not do what she needs to be doing, that she can remove herself from that situation and go over to her table spot. However, this did cause some issues with some other students that felt that they should be able to do the same. And this is the first time that it came up. So in the middle of the lesson, I was redirecting students to sit back down, and that they were okay on their circle spots. And that's something that that later on in the lesson that you don't see, that I actually explained to them. And I wish you'd have the opportunity to see that. But other than that, there were really no major classroom management problems that arose throughout the lesson.